All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a place. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they work in your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. Yeah.
That'd be absolutely devastating.
Oh! This is Joey Owens' show. They've been trying to get me on this broadcast forever, and this is the worst damn broadcast I've ever been on. So you all can kiss my ass while I win this match.
All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to Gonzo'S Wrestling Room, Monday, November 27th, 2023. I'm Chris Gonzalez, joined by Tony Gonzalez and Marcus Fine. How's it going, guys?
Going great.
I'm good.
Marcus up to 92 shows?
Keep your fingers crossed. We got 8 scheduled. If the weather holds and Kelly holds, the final show of the year will make 100.
December 30th, right?
Mm-hmm. 5 dub shows, FEW, NGW, and Warrior Pro. And the 5 dub shows. Just hope it works.
Hey, how's it going, Alex?
What's up, Ryan? Alex?
Yep. Hope everybody's staying warm out there. A little chilly, I think.
It's cold.
Yes.
But we got the furnace running.
Glad you got that fixed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got that fixed just in the nick of time, didn't
It's
you?
running as we speak. So,
Well, we're going to get started here. We'll go with our indie wrestling report. Me and Chris didn't do any shows this weekend, but Marcus hit 3 of them up. So Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So, Marcus, if you want to go ahead and start with that Thursday show.
all right. Thursday show. FEW, Thanksgiving night, afternoon. I guess it was night. The Rob Kincaid tribute show. I think me, Alex, and Mrs. Alex all decided right at 120 people came out to watch that event. They were on fire, and the show was very well done. And here we go. Opening bout, Adam Rose defeated Pitt Freeman. Wildcat Chris Harris won the True Tradition Battle Royal. One-man crew defeated Matt Vengeance. Chinko defeated Timmy Turner to become the new FEW Mid-Continental title holder. After the match, Chinko unmasked and to reveal he was the returning Cody Nunn. The FEW Ladies Champion Thunder Kitty took on Mickey Knuckles and it ended up in a double countout. We got new tag team champions Cousin Cooter and Scarecrow. And Scarecrow was a substitution for Max Sterling. And they defeated Rampage Radisson and Sean Casey. And Sean Casey was a substitution for Lennox Leone. And they became tag team champions. And it was kind of a heartfelt thing because Cooter and Scarecrow were original Hoosier Pro Wrestling guys. So they've known each other forever. So, and we got a new world champ too, as King Mitchell Taylor defeated Unchained Brandon Day via submission. He put him in a submission hold, and the referee dropped the hand 3 times, and the King is the new champ. So, again, very well done. And then, you want me to keep going?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, then on Friday, their Black Friday show at the Dub, sold-out crowd. Kenneth James defeated Cecil Cerveza in a dog food match. Now, it wasn't a traditional dog food matches, and I thought the way they did it that the loser would eat dog food. No, that's not what they done. They brought dog food out, and the first person to get dog food on them would lose. and they were fighting around this bowl of dog food, and finally Kenneth James dropped Cecil's, kind of speared him down through it. So not really speared him, more like DDT'd him down through the bowl of dog food. So Cecil lost. Ruthless Domination defeated Too Loud, Timmy Jackson, and Pogo. Hidori defeated Brody Botkins. Then Kenneth James, doing double duty, defeated Damian Real to become the new WCW territorial champion with help from Jordan James.
Okay.
Then Zay Gates, and this was my match of the night, I think, between that and the Hardcore. Zay Gates defeated IK3, David Light, and TJ Powers in a four-way elimination match, and he's still the WCW Gunslinger title. Jake Elliott defeated Cecil Cerveza, Waterboy, and Timmy Turner in a fatal four-way. Jackson Morgan defeated Jake Phoenix in a bloody hardcore match. And Jordan James is now the new WCW Outlaw Champion as he defeated Damian Real with help from Kenneth James and the returning Skull Crusher. So that's two solid shows back to back. That'd be good for anybody. But then we had a third one. Hang on a minute. There we go. JICW's Tour Drive event Saturday. We're guessing maybe 50 people. But I didn't have a complaint about that show either. Pre-match show was Kevin Storm defeated as Scorpion Dorado. Nick Diamond defeated the Demented Outlaw Kickstand. The Harvester defeated Levi Motionless. Casey Grim Santos defeated Sal Marston to retain the JICW Cruiserweight title. The match that I really wanted to see, Brutus Dillon defeated Tyler Bodine. I hope they're not done with that. Those guys are huge, and it was everything I expected. Johnny Scratch defeated Oreo the Juggalo. Storm Garcon defeated DJ the Disaster to retain the ladies' title. Big T Thomas Moore defeated Radical Rick in a beard versus beard match. And Radical Rick lost. He lost not only his beard, but his hair. They just didn't stop. They just shaved him all the way. So, what's up, SWS? Sanji defeated
What's up, Billy?
TK to retain the JICW Intercontinental title. Berto and Hippo defeated Mike Motors. And Tyler Scott defeated Casey Grim Santos and is now the new JICW Cruiserweight Champion. Between Tyler winning the belt and the Brutus Dillon, Tyler Bodine, that's my matches of the night for that one. So, three pretty solid shows.
That sounds awesome. You told me you thought maybe the dub may have beat everybody out, maybe by a slim margin.
I'd say the dub looked good on paper, and it was I'm not taking away from any of the shows, but the dub they were on fire Friday. So yeah.
Okay, well, we'll move on to our next thing. We're gonna.
How's it going, Justin?
Justin Danger. Okay, move on to our pro wrestling report. We're gonna start off with WWE, and first of all, Raw. It was the go home show for the Survivor Series. Thought there was a lot of good matches. Thought it was a pretty interesting show. One interesting fact, maybe AEW could take some note in this. WWE used for Raw 22 different women during the show, a 3-hour show. They had a lot of matches. They had them in backstage segments, but they used 22 women during that show. So maybe AEW could take some notes on that and maybe try to get their women division straightened out a little bit. And I did have a question. A competitor they have, Xia Li. I think all of you have seen her perform before, I believe. I know Chris has. Had a match on last week's Raw against Becky Lynch, which she lost. It was a really good match. She showed a lot of ability in that match. One of the best matches she had. Then this past Tuesday night, she had an NXT title match with Lyra Valkyrie, the champion for NXT. Another outstanding match. It was main event. But the next day, listening to Busted Open, they were critical, saying that that she lost 2 matches, big high profile matches in a row, and felt like, where do you go from here? Um, I had a little bit different take on that. I think that she'd been gone for a long time. For about the last 6 weeks, she'd been built up. She'd had hit people with kicks, and they'd have to stop the match, showing her how powerful she was. These matches, she did more wrestling than she's done in a long time. Not as much martial arts. I thought she showed a lot of ability against 2 top stars. And so I think it's as long as they find a feud for, or I don't think losing matches necessarily kills your momentum. What do you guys think?
No, I don't think it does. As long as you don't keep losing.
Yeah, I mean, and plus it was 2 high profile matches. It was Becky Lynch was one match, and the other one was for the NXT Championship. So I mean, don't get me wrong. I know Bully Ray and them have been around for a long time and know probably a lot more than I do. But as a fan's perspective, I don't see where, as long as she moves on and moves on in a positive direction, I don't see why it would destroy her. What do you think, Chris?
No, I think people get wrapped up a little too much in pro wrestling and wins and losses. It's not like other sports per se where it's all about wins or losses. You can lose a match and still not cause damage to the story or to your direction that they have you going if it's done right. Now, don't get me wrong. If you can't have somebody go out there and lose like 15 straight when you're trying to build them up, but if you're losing a couple, especially against high profile people that are in a position that you're trying to get to, and you'd still do it in a way that makes the person that loses the match look good, I don't think it causes that much damage.
No, since it was high profile people, no.
No,
Now, if you did mid carders and you were losing the mid carders and curtain jerkers, that would destroy you terribly. But you got Becky Lynch, you know what her background is, and the NXT title holder. No, that's not bad.
And the way both matches went, she could have won. I mean, it wasn't like that she got killed in 3 minutes. I mean, they were both over 10-minute matches, and she was right there with a lot of false finishes. Could have, the way both matches progressed, that you thought she could have won both those matches. So, I mean, I thought it was in a positive way. So I didn't agree with that at all. Also, going back to Randy Orton was named the 5th member to be in War Games. So that was interesting on Raw. On NXT, one thing that stood out to me was Josh Briggs got a huge win over Carmelo Hayes. Briggs had been primarily a tag team wrestler in NXT so far. I got to see Briggs wrestle in Evolve. They showed some of the Evolve stuff on the NXT network a few years ago. And matter of fact, that's where Austin Theory came from. He had a lot of matches with Austin Theory. That's where Theory came from. And I'm a big Briggs fan. I knew about him before he ever got to NXT. And one of the few wrestlers that when WWE bought Evolve, one of the few wrestlers that moved up, Austin Theory was one, and he was another that moved up to WWE and NXT. Going to SmackDown. SmackDown was a really good show. It was my show of the week. Charlotte and Becky stuff was great. The way they did it and trying to show animosity and them trying to get along and trying to become a team. The 4 women. Santos Escobar. I know this is something Chris seen also. Had very interesting stuff with Carlito. Moved into a match that's going to be with Dragon Lee. Escobar's last 2 or 3 weeks, his promos have been outstanding. Always been a big fan of him in the ring, especially in NXT. I think they're building him up to be a big heel for the company, and I think they're moving in the right direction. I know, Chris, you was impressed with him. I know you've seen where they're going with him.
Oh, I really like him as the heel, and I think the promos he done on the last
2 SmackDowns.
Last 2. I was trying to figure out how I was going to word that, but the last 2 SmackDowns was awesome. Though that night when he said I hope your leg gets amputated.
Talking about Rey Mysterio.
I thought that promo was great, and then the promo this Friday where the other members of LWO had come out and stuff, and then he ended up attacking the 2 guys. I thought it was great. I've seen the guy wrestle. He's always been real good in the ring, and I've enjoyed him in the ring. But I've seen him as a heel and on a mic, I've gained a little more respect for him.
And he also said that the first week after he turned on Ray, that Dominic was right all along. He was a terrible father, and definitely, I think he's going to be. They're going to make him a major heel in the company. Going to AEW Dynamite now. Going to AEW for this week. MJF, another strong promo. Still doing great work. Christian Cage, also an outstanding promo. Thought it was a little long, but I thought it was very good. Timeless Tony Storm had a great segment where she did like an acceptance speech for her winning the title, like an Academy Award type thing. It was short, but it was very funny. I really enjoyed it. Swerve Strickland had a match with Jay Lethal. I thought that was the match of the night. Also had a women's match, Ruby Soho, Sky Blue, and Anna Jay. I don't know what happened, but it was sloppy and it seemed off the whole match. I don't know what was wrong, but I think they need to bring somebody in to the women's division to be in charge of the women's division and change directions, get something going there, because there's a lot wrong with that division and it's not getting better, at least in my opinion. Next up, we're going to talk about the WWE Survivor Series. I know we all got all three got to see it. We'll start off with the women's War Games match. I thought it was very good. Loved a lot of the spots and stuff. One thing that and I know them guys heard my reaction, and I think we all had the same reaction when Io got picked up and thrown into the cage, and she slid down the cage, and where her back's up against the cage and just rolls, just slides down the cage. That hurt me, and I'm sure it didn't hurt her, but I mean, that hurt me, and I thought the look of it was
almost like a cheese grater.
Cheese grater, yeah, that's why they even made that comment.
Yeah,
and so I really liked that, and some of the other spots. Marcus, what did you think of that match, the women's War Games?
Oh, I loved it. I loved the trash can off the top.
Yeah,
never been done before. Of course, Charlotte had the moonsault off the cage, off the top. I thought when Becky dropped Bayley through the table, I thought they were a little off center. I thought if they were a little too far more over, they would have crashed right through them table legs. But it worked. But it looked like it could have been disastrous if they were off a little bit more to the left. But I guess it'd be their right. But no, the match was solid.
Somebody else I wanted to shout out in that match was Shotzi. I thought Shotzi was spot on with the stuff that she did. They sprayed the mist. She was in the right position. It looked great. I thought she really stood out. Triple H mentioned her in the press conference that it felt like that she stepped up and showed that she belonged, and I agreed with that 100%. Chris, what do you think of that match?
I really liked it. Only complaint I have about any of the War Games matches is that I wish they just go ahead and put some weapons in the cage.
So drag them on in. Yeah.
So then you're not taking 2 minutes of getting weapons before the person gets in the cage when they're coming down, because sometimes that kind of, I think, can break up the momentum of what's going on. But I mean, match wise, I thought it was awesome. I don't have no big complaints, but that's just with any War Games match, not just like the ones we saw this weekend. That's just something I've noticed over the years is sometimes it takes them a little too long trying to load all the weapons,
especially tables.
All the weapons.
And going on that point, she threw that chain down there. They should have had more crap in the trash can. It was an empty trash can. You should have had all kinds of crap in that trash can, hauling that up there.
Yeah, you
going towards what Chris said. If you're going to bring them in, you could fill that trash can with all kinds of stuff. So
I'm glad you mentioned that spot. I like that spot. I thought that spot was pretty
I did too.
Cool. Where they put the trash can on the chain and pulled it up.
Never seen that before.
That was something different.
Yep.
Stuff like that I think makes it a little more interesting than just somebody coming in and before they jump in the cage, getting under the ring and trying to throw a bunch of stuff in.
I agree.
But other than that, I really enjoyed it. I thought all the women looked good in it. That's the thing I liked about it. It wasn't like they made anybody look weak in that match. Everybody had moments and spots.
Yeah, Shane thinks that I agree with that to a certain degree, having the top on the cages, because I was a big fan of them having the top on the cages. But that the way fans are now, they like to be able to jump off the top and stuff. And so I think that's one reason they don't do the top of the cage. And also the top of the cage was to keep, I guess, with the rule where you can't get out if you get out, your team forfeits. So I guess that takes care of that. And back then the cages wasn't near as high as up. The cages were lower. They would use them cages, the top of the cages, and as weapons. So, but
somebody else brought up the fact that instead of having pinfalls, they should make it a submission win. I kind of agree to that too. I mean, make somebody actually submit to give up versus just taking a pin. I kind of thought, yeah, that's a good idea as well.
Yeah, we noticed online some people complaining about, why did they have referees in there? Well, if the people really noticed, referees didn't come in till the match started. The match didn't start till everybody got in there, and the referee has to be in there to count a pin. If you're going to have pinfalls, you got to have somebody in there. So that's why the refs had to be
even
in
with
there.
the submission, you're going to have to have a referee.
You kind of do, in a way. Yeah. One question about that match: where does damage control go from here? What's going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? I think not Becky. Excuse me. I think Bailey is going to be out of the groups, and somehow
she doesn't match. She doesn't match the rest of them.
Yep.
She is actually the outsider. It looks like she's the outsider. So
yeah, that's the way they're making it look.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think damage control is going to end up splitting up.
Okay, next up.
Well, I shouldn't say split up. I think Bailey's going to be out, and then I think the name's going to be changed.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think damage control as a name will be gone. I think it'll be something else, is what I think. We'll see. Next up, Gunther versus The Miz. I really love Gunther. I think he's as good as any wrestler out there today, right now. Really liked the match. I thought Miz did great. Even though he was kind of being the face, he still did dastardly things as a normal heel self. Anything to win. I liked it. And I also like Gunther wins matches in different ways. He wins by choking people out. He'll win with a splash. He won that match with a Boston Crab. I love that. We don't need 10,000 Canadian destroyers to win a match.
He incorporates a lot of old school.
Yes,
and he's got that old school look to him too. So he looks like somebody that Bruiser would have been using, or Fritz von Erich or somebody. He's got that look.
Yeah, definitely. What'd you guys think of that match?
Well, you know what I felt like at first when they said Gunther and Miz, but it came through. It did. I was impressed with it. So Miz did very well against him.
Yeah, I thought it was a real good match. There was only two little things that I could even really complain about, and it's just being picky. And one of them was toward the beginning of the match, Miz started working on the right leg, and then they went over to the ring post, and he switched to working on the left. Switched to working on the left leg,
and he stuck with the left.
And then he stuck with the left leg the rest of it. But like I said, it's just being picky. And then the other toward the end, if you noticed, when Gunther went to go up to the top to do the splash, he started going to the other corner, and Miz is set up for the other corner.
Yep.
So then he had to go over. So there was just that little bit of miscommunication there. But I thought the match was awesome, and I'll agree with you. I liked the Boston Crab with the knee in the back.
Yeah.
To finish,
he's got the crab.
I thought that was a good way.
He's got the crab and he's not finished, and then all of a sudden he puts that knee in the back and he immediately taps out. I loved it. I mean, because that's the way it should be. I really enjoyed that match. Next up, Santos Escobar taking on Dragon Lee. I had one little criticism with that match. I didn't think it was long enough. I thought them two were just getting going. I would have liked to seen another. I mean, it didn't have to be another 10 minutes, but I think another 3 or 4 minutes would have added to that match. I think Escobar is going to be one of the biggest heels over the next 6 months for WWE. But I still like the match. Like I said, there wasn't a bad match on the show. But I think it would have benefited from more time. What do you guys think?
Well, I agree, and I love the look of both those guys. That's first I seen Dragon Lee, and he was a replacement, right? Because it wasn't supposed to be Carlito.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Carlito.
Yeah, but he was a good replacement, and I really thought it was going to be a squash, but it wasn't. I mean, it was very well done.
I think Dragon Lee's going to be a big star with the company. I think he's kind of going to be Rey Mysterio's replacement, possibly eventually. But they're moving him along slowly. There's nothing wrong with that. What'd you think, Chris?
No, I thought it was a real solid match. If I had one complaint with not even with that match, but with just like the Survivor Series, the singles matches, I think all of them could have been a little bit longer. Yeah. But other than that, because I thought it was a great show, but I think that match could have been a little longer. I think the women's match could have been a little bit longer, and even the Miz and Gunther wouldn't have bothered. It wouldn't have bothered me if that would have been a little bit longer. I know you got the 2 War Games matches that are so long, so you're.
Yeah.
But I think though you could have added a little bit to those matches, especially because the show ended up being a little under 3 hours.
By the time they was done with the Punk stuff, it was about 3 hours. I think it ended at 2:45, 2 hours and 45 minutes. That was before the Punk stuff.
Was it the original War Games? I know it was 5 minutes for the first 2, but then wasn't it 2-minute intervals instead of 3?
I don't remember.
If they took a minute off every one of those intervals, you would have had enough time to give the other people a little more time.
I'd have to go back. I thought the original one, and I could be wrong, Marcus. I'm not saying I'm right. I thought the original one was 5 minutes for each one.
Well, I thought it was 5, 2, 2, and 2.
And another thing that took a little bit of time off the War Games matches, if you notice, they don't start that timer until the person gets in the ring.
Yep, and
while they're out there getting all the weapons and stuff, that time's not being counted into that 3 minutes.
So yeah, as that what you said there, they cut some of that time off. The other people would have had more time to work. So, and you wouldn't have taken away from anything.
That being said, though, I thought the show had a pretty good pace. So
I'm
not saying it wrong, but I did think it flowed really well. Okay, moving on. Next up, we had Rhea Ripley against Zoe Starks. I tell you what, and I told Chris and Austin in this, I think right now Rhea Ripley may be as big a star in wrestling as anybody. If you, which I know, Marcus, you don't watch all the shows. I watch all the shows. She's on NXT. She's on SmackDown a lot. She's on every Monday Night Raw. She's in backstage segments. She's in the ring. Sometimes she'll be on Raw 2 or 3 times, 4 times in a show. She may be as big a star as there is in wrestling right now. Overall, she's great in the ring. She's great on the mic. Her facial expressions.
Her good looks change every time.
Yes.
She don't wear the same thing. I mean, she comes out in totally different looks every time she works.
The best thing was the Dom's matching boots.
Yep. They were yeah. But I did think they had a great match. Zoe Starks is another one. In ring wise, I think she's good as anybody out there right now, especially in the women's division. But I also think that her facial expressions, her selling, and her mic skills are all getting better. So I think she's going to be a huge star for.
Yeah.
WWE.
Oh yeah, she will be.
And I think she's got an interesting look. But I think she'll improve on the mic. So I love the match. I think it was the best singles match on the show, in my opinion. What do you guys think?
I agree. I like the twisting senton. That was like, wow.
Was
and then when the move off the top rope and Stark super kicked her on the landing.
Yeah.
There's some. I don't think Zoe's ready to take on the next step as being a full run champ yet, but give her a year and I bet you next year we have a whole different opinion. I mean, I love Zoe. She's going places. She keeps the momentum going.
Yeah, and if you see the improvements that she's made just in the last 7-8 months, it's impressive.
Well, what was impressive with her, she blew out her knee completely in NXT, I don't know, 15 months ago or whatever, and she come back from that. And the time that she was with that hurt knee, they're so impressed with her, and she's such a hard worker. They made her a trainer at NXT. I mean, she's there a wrestler, and they turned her into a trainer during her off time, as she was rehabbing her knee. So that shows you what kind of person and what kind of worker she is. Okay, well, moving on. We had the men's War Games. Loved it. Loved the spots in it. To me, the most valuable person in that match was JD McDonough. I think he took a beating. I think he did an outstanding job. I was familiar with him from watching NXT UK 3 or 4 years ago. He's outstanding in the ring. So I'm hoping his size may hurt him a little bit, but I'm hoping for big things with him in the WWE. I love the way Orton was used. I know Chris commented during the show that they didn't put him in any bad spots. He pretty much for the most part inflicted damage. He didn't take a lot of damage himself, being his first match back. I thought there was great storytelling and all the War Games matches, really the whole show. So I was really impressed with the men's War Games match and the whole show. What do you guys think?
Well, I got a whole page of that.
Okay.
All right. I like the fact they brought the bull rope out. I like the fact that they first thumped Finn Balor in the
Freeze
head with the bell, and then Seth and Cody then scraped his nuts, I guess. I don't know what else you would say with the rope, but they both clotheslined him upwards. I like the 2-on-3 choke slam, where you had three of the Judgment Day dropping the other two. I like that. The JD moonsault, that was good. False Money in the Bank cash in. I see the briefcase changed colors. I thought it was green. Now it's like purple, but
yeah.
And Randy Orton, he looked good physically as well. I mean, he's been in the gym. I think he looked better now than he did when he took time off. I mean, you could tell he's been working out big time. He's in shape. The Uso splash from one ring to the other. I like that. And then, of course, we all like the fact that they threw off the cage.
JD McDonough.
And RK spot on dropped him with the RKO.
They made that look good too.
Yeah. Well, that's my commentary. I mean, I stopped working photos and just like I was so enthralled in that match. It was fantastic. So
Yeah, I thought it was a real good match. I liked it a little bit better than I did the women's War Games match, and nothing against the women's War Game match because I thought it was real good too. But I was a little more. I got a little more invested in the men's. I like since they used a lot. I ain't gonna say a lot of weapons, but they used more weapons in the women's match than they did the men's match. So I like that there was a little bit of difference there. It wasn't like it was all because in the men's match they used the rope, and Cody took the pipe out the corner.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah,
Bell putting in the rope. That was outstanding. Call back. I loved it.
There wasn't as many weapons used, and then and you're right, Marcus and Austin had mentioned about Orton physical condition because Austin, I don't think I've ever seen Orton that big.
he looked good.
It does, and I like the way they brought him, the way they done that. With is he going to be there? Is he not going to be there? And then you do the fake Money in the Bank cash in, and then he comes out and that stops the cash in. So yeah, I thought they had it set up real well.
Well, that's probably going to be Orton's first feud. Probably going to be the Judgment Day. Probably going to be Damian Priest because he's going to be mad because he messed up his cash in. So that's probably where they're going to go with that.
The thing about that men's match, they told so many stories too. Like when Orton first got in the ring, and then him and Jey Uso stare off, and then Jey Uso saves him from getting attacked with the super kick. I mean, they told tied up a lot of loose ends with some stories and stuff during that match. I thought they done a great job of working all that stuff in.
I did too. I thought the other spot was when they did the Randy Orton's DDT. All of them had the guy on there hanging on the ropes, and all of them hit that at the same time. How you hit that and they all hit at the same time.
And just like Cody and Seth fighting over the bull rope there at first. I thought,
very well done.
And Cody saying one night, and I mean, I thought they done good of kind of tying up some of that stuff.
Sometimes it's about the little things, and they did all the little things right. So and it just makes it better, at least for me. Moving on from that, we go to the end of the show, and we think it's all over, and they put up the logo like going off the air, and then all of a sudden we hear some music. I don't even know what was going on. I'm saying, what's going on? And Austin said, what do you mean what's going on? It's CM Punk. I said, what do you mean it's CM Punk? He hadn't seen it come out. But as soon as the first note hit from CM Punk's song, Austin knows. I don't know it. I mean, it was like, name that tune. The first note comes, and Austin jumped up.
The whole building lit up with CM Punk logos.
Yeah, as soon as, and then I'm like, then I figured it out. I'm old. I'm old and slow. So,
of course, I knew it was happening because I watched the replay because I couldn't watch because we was at Martinsville, so I knew it was coming. But I got one more statement to say too about that. I commend Reggie Edwards for the question he asked Cody Rhodes. We had a Rhodes in a War Games. We also had a Flair in a Road Games, and I like the fact that Reggie brought that up.
Yeah.
Because you had Charlotte in the first one, and you had Cody, and you had a Rhodes and a Flair second generations. And I commend Reggie for that, bringing that up in the press conference. So because I didn't even think about
I thought that was a real good question by Reggie.
And being out of Reggie, that was even better. So our very own Reggie asked that question. So
Don't be putting Reggie over. His head's big enough as it is.
that's true. Yeah, that was that was a fantastic.
And he was
thought.
he was the bonus question.
Yeah, he was the
bonus question.
The other thing that was impressive about that, and we had talked about that too, that how they kept that out of the dirt sheets. Nobody knew that this was coming. I mean, nobody knew it was coming, and to do that nowadays, it's almost impossible. So I got to give Triple H and all them, but he kept it close to the vest.
And I thought the way they done it was perfect because everybody thought the show was over. You know what I mean? The show was over. And the Punk wasn't coming back. Everybody thought the show was over. You put the thing up there,
and that pissed off enough people because they didn't think he was coming. I was like, "Oh, wait a minute! Yes, he is." It's like, yeah, it was perfect timing how they pulled that off. So,
I know Chris's opinion on this. Marcus, I want your opinion on this. A lot of people have been pissed off and claiming that they took away from Randy Orton's moment by bringing Punk out. I totally disagree with that. I mean, some of the people said that, well, they should have had him come out during the match. If it comes out during the match, that is taken away from their moment.
Yeah.
Wait till the thing's completely over and do it. Then it wasn't taken away from anybody, at least in my opinion. I didn't feel that way.
No, I didn't either because Randy made the entrance, did his remarkable comeback. The show was over.
Yes.
And they started it back up per se. So, I mean, they had the credit on there. So,
and
I heard people complain or saying that they should have brought him out after the women's War Game match.
No, I think it would have ruined the whole pay-per-view then.
Yeah, I agree.
Because then what would they have done with him? Everybody be talking about CM Punk the rest of the day everywhere. It would have ruined the pay-per-view for everybody.
Yeah, I think it was done perfectly.
And I think doing that then was perfect because now look how many people are going to watch tonight to see what everybody's going to say and what everybody's reaction is. Where if you bring them out early and everybody and then people are going to have to react to it, it takes away from that because now tonight they have so much hype and everything about tonight's show that
you go off the air. Supposedly they've got footage of Drew leaving the ring before. You know, I've seen the footage, of course. They filmed that. And they put it out, and then the same stuff with Seth. They got so many stories. The first hour of Raw tonight is going to be commercial free. The CM Punk's been announced; he's going to be on. Randy Orton's going to be on. I mean, they're very smart of putting their stuff together. Very smart being able to put stuff together. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, I thought they done it.
Yeah.
I don't know how you could have done it any better, really.
I agree.
I also heard people complaining that Michael Cole is terrible as a commentator. He didn't know what to say. Just sit there and didn't say nothing. Well, for one, in a moment like that, you don't need to say nothing.
No. Well, if it was that quiet, if we didn't know.
But for two, he wasn't even at him and Graves wasn't even at the announce table no more when Punk came out because the show was over.
Well, when the music hit, he was standing up because there's footage, there's footage of him dancing.
But the music. Well, I'm saying they were standing up. They were on their way. They were on their way heading to the back. They wouldn't.
Don't need to say anything.
No. Some moments you don't need to talk. You let the crowd do. You let the crowd do the talking for you. You don't have to be saying a bunch.
Well, with even what little commentating I've done this year, we've had a few shows where we didn't know what to say because a turn was taken that we weren't expecting. That we didn't know what to say. I mean, that's happened a couple times this year for me. I know.
Here's an interesting question, guys. Billy Buzz wants to know, who do you think the biggest star is? CM Punk?
Well, right now it's Punk.
Well, they've both been away. I mean, Orton been out for almost 2 years. Punk was back for a year and then got hurt. Was back for a little while, got hurt, was gone for quite a while, come back for 2 or 3 months and got fired. In my mind, who do I think the biggest star is for career-wise and everything? I think it's Orton.
Well, for career-wise, yes. I thought you meant for the current moment right now.
I still think it's close. You might be right. Punk's got more buzz,
I think Punk's bigger right now because of all the controversy and stuff that's been around him. So I think that kind of pulls him up. But I agree with you. If you go overall career, I think Orton has been better overall, and that's not a slight on Punk because Punk's had it. I mean, Punk was real good as well, but he also didn't wrestle for what 8 or 9 years there, where Orton was still a big star wrestling all that time until here recently where he got hurt. So, but I mean, yeah, right now I'd probably put Punk. I would probably say just fan wise, Punk gets more of a reaction from the fans than what Orton does right now. Because
we'll see tonight though, because we're not in Chicago.
Yeah, that's true too. That's the other thing. It's hard to tell from the other night as well because you're in Chicago, which is Punk's hometown too. So that
where are they at tonight?
Nashville.
Okay, so they're not near St. Louis or wherever.
Oh, we do have to talk about something we haven't talked about yet. Alex just brought it up. Biggest return of the night.
Yeah, biggest return of the night.
That's what Triple H said at the press conference.
I love that at the press conference when Triple H said, "Let's talk about the big return," and he said, "R-Truth." I started. We all started cracking up.
Sure did.
I also like to bring up, when did they start using LA Knight and New Day to do Slim Jim commercials? Is that something new, or did they just start
doing that for a while now?
Okay.
And they've been using Bianca too. Bianca Belair too.
And also, the press conference was awesome because even when Cody came out acting like Triple H was awesome as well.
Yeah, he did a impersonation of Triple H.
I'm not a CM Punk fan. Don't hit me, SWS, next time you see me. But no, it's gold. Why wouldn't you bring him back if you had the opportunity? The boy's on fire.
I didn't think they'd bring him back. I'll be straight up honest with you. I was surprised. I was shocked that they did, because just the fact I didn't think they needed him. But like Cody said, hey, if he gonna come back here and gonna be part of the team and gonna do business, why wouldn't you do it? So I don't disagree with that.
And at least they did it now, and they didn't put him in at the Royal Rumble and have him win that and get an automatic title shot. See, that would have pissed me off.
I think they brought him back for a couple of reasons. One, I think business. I think it was best for business because of the hype around him and everything around him. Yep. And two, straight up, I think it was a fuck you to AEW.
Yeah, I do too. I agree with that.
I can't disagree with that. I think to a certain degree, most definitely.
And that's one thing about Triple H. Love him or hate him, he's going to do what he thinks the fans want and what he thinks is best for business. He's not going to not do something because of a personal grudge or a personal feeling. He's going to do what he thinks is best for WWE and for the business.
Well, even Vince did that. I mean, Vince, they worked out things with Bret Hart. I mean, if Bret Hart could come back after everything that happened with Bret Hart and Vince McMahon, and he had hard feelings about Owen getting killed. I mean, to a certain degree, I'm sure that in their mind, it was their fault, and to a certain degree, definitely. I mean, it was an accident, but maybe things, if done more safer, maybe that wouldn't happen. So you definitely. I mean, who thought that he would come back? Who thought Bruno was coming back? Look at all the bad things Bruno said about the WWE, and he came back. And Triple H was a big part of that happening, him coming back. Triple H got involved in there with that. So
let me ask you guys a question, because you guys, I mean, I've been watching wrestling for a long time as well, but not as long as you guys. Yep. And I don't watch it as often as you. I've watched, like this week, I watched SmackDown. I watched SmackDown pretty much all of it last Friday. I don't watch every Raw and SmackDown. I like watching football as well on Monday nights, but I've heard a lot of people say that this is the biggest return ever in WWE. CM Punk Saturday night. Do you agree with that? Do you think that's the biggest return ever?
Well, I don't know. It's hard to, I mean, are you talking about reaction wise, or are you talking about reaction wise? Being in Chicago, it was Bully Ray said that he said that wasn't a pop, that was a roar. It reminded him of like because he's a big soccer fan, and how some of them soccer fans are, and the roar of the crowd. He said that's what that reminded him of. But he's, I don't know. I don't know if it's the biggest return. What do you think, Marcus?
No. Remember when Triple H come back?
Yep.
after he's been injured. I think that was the biggest return. I mean, that crowd wouldn't shut up for 15 minutes. They had to rewrite the whole show for that.
Edge. Not too long ago.
Edge, when he came back at the Royal Rumble a few years ago, was big. What about when
Cena came back?
I was going to say
early.
The Rock.
Rock.
About when Rock came back, he got pretty big.
The Hardy Boys, when they came back and they kept it a surprise.
Oh yeah, that was a big reaction too.
So,
It's hard to compare all of them because sometimes they happen in them people's hometown, so that even makes it even harder to kind of compare too. But yeah, I thought Survivor Series was real good. I enjoyed it.
It was an A for me. Do you think it's to me they bring Punk back. It's a no-win, it's a no-lose situation because if he comes back and he starts his shit, they won't put up with it.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why I don't think it was a mistake to bring or a bad move to bring him back because Triple H isn't going to put up with it. If he don't fall in line and do what he's supposed to do, he'll be gone. He'll be gone, and they still capitalized off everything by bringing them in to a point. So I mean, it's not going to.
5 minutes after the show was over, shirts was already on WWE.com.
How many do you think they sold? Yeah.
I guarantee you they probably sold out. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. A lot of people got online. They're thinking AEW's done because of this. Do you think they're done because of this?
I don't think they're done because of this. I already thought they were on their way to being done before this happened.
You know, I brought up a point to Chris, and in a way I was kind of joking, but right now, and this is a fact, WWE is negotiating to get Raw because for a new TV contract for 2024. Raw right now, SmackDown's going to USA right now. Raw is not going to have be on USA. AEW still hasn't signed a contract. If I'm TNT or TBS, and as hot as WWE, don't you think that they might not look into that? And if AEW loses the TV contract, they're done. If you don't have a TV contract.
And you see putting Raw on TBS after the Monday Night Raws from years ago.
That'd be nuts. Wouldn't it be crazy?
It started at 6:05 or 8:05. Yes.
It would be nuts. It would be crazy. But
I think a good move for WWE for Raw. Which the only bad thing is that the only reason I don't think it would happen is because of being Mondays. ESPN.
Yeah. But ESPN's got football.
Because ESPN's on everywhere.
Well, they said that they would not. They're not saying Raw has to be on Monday nights. They're willing to move off to different nights.
Well, and on like even with I was gonna say even with ESPN, you could always do it on ESPN too if you had to because they've done that with networks before. But yeah, because just look how many TVs are just on ESPN all the time.
Yeah, I had a brother-in-law that's all he had on his TV.
Well, we'll move on from that. And Marcus, are you ready for your pro wrestling profile?
Yeah, I am. I did this one for you.
Okay.
I wouldn't tell you last night. And I found enough info. We'll do Prince Poyans. We are now going to do bruiser used wrestlers for a while until we just run out of them.
Okay.
I already got next week's wrote out too, so.
Damon said he could see Raw on NBC Sports. That'd be a big, big get for NBC Sports.
Damien from Chicago?
Yep.
Yeah, Damien's from Chicago. Well, Damien, are you absolutely over the moon with CM Punk back in WWE? Go ahead, Marcus.
Okay. All right. We'll do Prince Poyans. Oh. Born Calvin Prince Poyans in Lancaster, Kentucky on June 3rd of 1933. They had him billed from Jamaica, but he was really from Georgia. And this is going to be all over the place because I had to piece this all together. Rumor had it he was married to Princess Jasmine, but they were not married or related in any way, but they both used the Jamaican gimmick. They just figured they were married. He wrestled Bobby Heenan in Bobby Heenan's first match ever in 1966. Bruiser used him as the company trainer to basically train jobbers and Bobby Heenan. Bobby Heenan basically is Prince Poyans' prize student.
Okay.
I
did not know.
Bruiser stopped using him basically when Spike Huber and Steve Regal came in, and that was son-in-laws to Bruiser and Wilbur Snyder. But they basically used Prince Poyens as the fill-in for no shows or call-offs. And then they normally would use him in the first 1 or 2 matches, basically get the crowd fired up. At one time, he was part of a feud with Bruiser. Well, what does this say? Oh, Bruiser used him as his tag partner against the Blackjacks until the Blackjacks broke his leg, and then he went on to use Sailor Thomas. He had a good run in the Gulf Coast area, teamed with Mike Boyette. That's a name that's odd because we just talked about Mike Boyette, but I didn't even read this yet, so I thought it was funny that name come across my tongue twice. Him and Mike Boyette was the U.S. champs in the Gulf Coast area. He feuded with Donnie Fargo, and they swapped the title back and forth several times. And then he went to the NWA and worked for Bruiser. Had feuds with the original Sheik and Gene Kiniski, known as a high flyer. Passed away in 2006 in Georgia, and is buried in the National Cemetery there in Marion, Indiana. So I got more info than I thought it would. But
cool. Yeah, he was. Why, I don't know. I've told you guys before. Why he was one of my favorites as a kid. It stood out to me. I mean, he didn't win a lot of matches, but he won some, but he didn't win a lot. At least that I seen on
talent enhancement.
Yep.
They don't use that. They didn't use that term back then, but he was talent enhancement.
Yep.
So.
Damien said he is hyped. He hasn't slept for 2 days over the CM Punk stuff.
Did you go to Survivor Series?
I don't think Damien. I don't think he did. I know. Of course, I'm having a brain fart.
Hadley.
Our favorite, yeah, Hadley. Hadley was there Friday and Saturday. SmackDown and for the Survivor Series. Okay, well, last thing I got for tonight, I've got some wrestling gimmicks. The first thing, I got 2 things here. I got wrestling gimmicks you never realized was copied from other wrestlers, and wrestling gimmicks that were created for other wrestlers that ended up being used. My first one, this is like a top 10 list. Number 10 on this list was originally Max Moon, ended up being Paul Diamond. Who was that originally supposed to be? Do either one of you guys know?
Well, that was like Conan, wasn't it?
Yep, it was Conan. That's who originally was supposed to be Max Moon.
I thought, didn't Conan actually do that gimmick for a while?
He actually could have in dark matches, but I don't think he ever did on TV.
Okay, I thought it was always Conan.
Nope, I don't think so.
Okay.
Next up, number 9. This is a crazy one. Originally, he was supposed to be one of the lead members of the Spirit Squad. I don't think anybody's going to guess this unless you see him a list. It's crazy that this guy was going to be one of the original members, but he finally said no. Anybody got a guess?
Cedar.
Nope. Elijah Burke. Originally was going to be one of the members of the Spirit Squad.
Yeah.
Next one, Val Venus, who ended up with Sean Morey, was originally made for this wrestler. Anybody got a guess on that one?
1-star wrestler. I'm thinking like Jindrak or somebody. I'm trying to think who'd have that. No.
It was originally done for Edge.
Well, then they kind of did that, didn't they?
Well, his name.
The R-rated superstar, so they kind of.
Remember what his name was? His name before he got there to WWE was Sexton Hardcastle. That was his name.
Was Edge's name?
That was Edge's name on the independent scene. Yeah, in the independent scene.
Hell, he almost had a port in the ring. So I mean, it would have been a good fit for him.
Gimmick photos of that stuff. It's so like you happen to have a.
Damien's wanting to know if we think the stuff with Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre are real or kayfabe. I don't think they're real. I don't think they're real.
Yeah, I think it was all that was a work.
It had to be. Why they concentrate on it so much?
That's what I think. Next up,
and not only that, I've heard that like some like Seth Rollins and even McIntyre at a house show last night, kind of talked about it a little bit. And if it was a shoot reaction where they were really pissed off, they wouldn't be talking about it like that at a WWE show. So I already thought it was a work, but that even made me think it was a work more. After hearing some of that stuff.
Number 7 on the list, the Sultan, which was Rikishi.
Danger says shoot.
Danger thinks it was a shoot.
Oh, does he? I don't. Who do you think that was done for, the Sultan, originally? I'll give you a hint. ECW person.
Balls Mahoney.
Sabu. That's who originally was supposed to be the Sultan.
Well, they'd have to shrink down the clothes then.
Now this one, the ringmaster, who was Steve Austin, was originally done for this wrestler, and this one doesn't make any sense to me at all.
Probably Barry Windham. That sounds like something they'd do to him.
Yeah, it does. But you think the ringmaster would be somebody that was good in the ring, and I don't think the person they originally did it for was that good in the ring. It was originally done for Atom Bomb. Does that make any sense?
Hardly do the Atom Bomb gimmick.
I know it. I agree. Now this one kind of made sense once I heard it. Glacier. Who was Glacier done for originally? Because that was the kind of karate gimmick.
Glacier was?
Yeah, Glacier from WCW.
Well, I remember let's say I remember the character. I don't remember much other than the character, but
the wrestler that did Glacier was Raymond E. Lloyd. Who done it?
He still does autograph signings around here about once a year. So
yeah, that was done originally for Rob Van Dam.
Oh, bull! I can't. What did Rob Van Dam turn that down?
Yes.
Well, I don't blame him.
Now this one's crazy.
Suicide for him.
Yeah, this was crazy. The Game, Triple H's name, The Game, was originally going to be for somebody else, and this is going to shock you guys. It was originally done for right after what happened with Bret Hart. That was going to be Owen Hart's new name, The Game, instead of the Black Heart. They went with the Black Heart, but he was going to be The Game. That's where that name originally came from. Was for Owen Hart.
It's hard to think of these because of what they actually did with these gimmicks.
Of course, you guys know this one. He was originally going to be a member of Evolution. I think you know this one, Marcus.
No, I might not.
Okay. Mark Jindrak was supposed to be an original member of.
Okay, was he really? Okay,
yeah,
I did not know that.
Okay. Next up, the Shield, which was Ambrose, Rollins, and Reigns. Originally, instead of Reigns, was going to be a different wrestler. He was big on the independent scene. He was in NXT as Cassius Ohno, but Chris Hero was originally going to be.
I could see that
instead of Reigns. He was going to be in there.
That I actually could see that happening.
And then I think you probably will guess this one. Who originally was going to be the NWO leader?
Sting, wasn't it?
It was going to be Sting.
Yeah, because I thought they.
Now, these gimmicks were kind of copied off other people. Let's see if you can guess who there was. This Damian Sandow. Who was he kind of?
Well, wasn't he like off the Miz or somebody?
Well, he ended up doing the stunt double for the Miz.
I always kind of thought like the Genius.
You're right, Lanny Poffo.
Really?
That's where he was kind of okay. JBL. Who was he kind of copied after?
Probably one of the Blackjacks. Well, they kind of did that.
Not the cowboy gimmick. Well, yeah, he did it. Well, remember he was one of the new Blackjacks.
Yeah, and it was poorly done. But
yes, oh yes.
So you're talking about like the
rich
like
JBL,
the cowboy financial wizard. That's
yes. Yep, that JBL. He was copied after a little bit of Ted DiBiase. Kind of the rich gimmick.
You got to stretch it a little bit, but yeah.
Yep. This one's easy. Ryback. He's retired now. He said
Well,
he said
should be.
he was copied, of course, after Goldberg. This is interesting. Who was Carlito kind of took after a little bit?
It's hard to think of him taking off to somebody else.
I don't know about that.
Razor Ramon.
Yeah, kind of.
You know the apple instead of the toothpick. Little small things. Chris Masters.
I ain't doing very good tonight, am I? I don't know.
Lex Luger.
You know, I can see that.
Yep.
Danger said Luger.
Yep. This one's easy. Bray Wyatt.
I don't know.
When he first came in. And his real name was Dan Spivey, but he did Waylon Mercy.
I knew that. I had to play dub on that one because I was
Matt Riddle.
Did you see he's taking an RVD somewhere on the independent circuit here in the next month?
Well, that's who he was stuck after. Rob Van Dam.
Well, yeah, those two are going to take on each other. I seen the flyer come across earlier today.
Yep. This one's kind of easy. Dolph Ziggler.
Probably Jericho.
No, what do you think, Chris?
Michaels.
Shawn Michaels. Yep.
Yeah.
That was easy because that's what everybody always talked about
Compared him
was
to.
that he tries to be too much like Shawn Michaels.
I wish I had a prize for this if somebody could guess this because I don't know how anybody could guess it. Seth Rollins. This wrestler never appeared in WWE, so I don't know anybody gonna guess it.
Was he WCW?
No. His name is Abraham.
Hey.
His name is Abraham Washington.
Bravo.
His independent wrestling name was Jeremiah Constantine. He claimed Seth Rollins completely stole his gimmick from a tape that he sent in to the WWE. That Rollins stole. They give him his gimmick that he sent in from a tape.
Well, prove that. You get a payout for that.
Yeah, Abraham Washington. And the next one, it's true that he did take after this guy a little bit. John Cena took after this guy, and there's the rap gimmick part. I'll give you a hint.
I can tell you that.
Remember a tag team PG-13?
Vaguely.
Wolfie D. He did the rapping, white man rapping stuff.
Yes.
And that's where Cena. I don't know that they may have favored that way. Of course, Cena was doing that stuff on the bus, and luckily he did. And Stephanie heard him, or he was getting ready to get fired. So that was his new gimmick.
What you think of Seth Rollins' outfit? And big ass blown up sleeves.
You never know what he's going to wear.
It looked like he had two trash bags blown up and just sewed on there.
And he went up to that fan, and I thought the fan there was like airbags that hit him or something.
Yes, most definitely. Well, that's pretty much it for tonight. Next week, we're going to have our Chris. Listen to this now. So
listen to this, Chris, because I've already got mine done.
Going to need your top 5 independent wrestlers for the month of.
Danger said Wolf D is Bill.
That's right. No, he said that. Yes,
it's Bill Dundee's son. He believes.
I think it is. I think he's right. He said that. Yeah. For wrestlers for the month of November, we'll need for the next show. Your top 5, Marcus' top 5, my top 5 of independent wrestlers. I also have my pro wrestling top 5 that I do. Also, we're going to be doing we're going to do make up your own factions. Like you name your faction, and you can have a manager if you want, but your own, make up your own faction. I already got mine done. So
I got
some factions.
I got 4 of them so far. How many did you get total?
I think I did 4.
Okay.
Maybe 5, but I think 4.
All right. Yeah, I agree with that.
Danger says Ravy's top choice.
Yep. Well, I think that's pretty much it, guys. And I'm gonna watch me some Monday Night Raw.
Don't forget, join us Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. Owner of FEW will be joining us. Alex Bolton, talk about their big show Retaliation coming up this Sunday, December 3rd. Doors open at 5, bell times at 6, and that is in Greenfield, Indiana. I can't remember the name of the place now.
It's like it's the old theater in downtown Greenfield.
It's RJ Hicks or something like that.
And we'll be at that event.
Yes, we will.
Yes, we'll be at that event on Sunday, but he'll be on the show Wednesday night, 7 p.m. to talk about that.
Do they have internet?
I believe so.
Yeah, you have to ask him. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that he had told me that they did. I can't remember. I'm 98% sure. People are happy. Scott Romer even come up to me Thursday and said, "I'm glad to see you guys are going to be there on the 3rd."
Okay, good.
So we got a lot of people happy that GWR will be in the house on.
Who did you say?
Scott Romer.
Scott Romer. Okay.
Came up and said he was excited that we were coming in to broadcast that. So, and he was just one. I think about 5 or 6 people was glad that we were coming in.
That's cool. I'm looking forward to it. Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Doors open at 5. No, they've been putting matches out today. I think they put 4 out today. They're going to put 3 more out tomorrow, if I remember correctly. The matches they put out today are some pretty good matches, so it should be a real good show.
I agree.
I'm looking forward to seeing that Blake Money Right against a one-man crew match.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that'll be a good one. And of course, former Ring of Honor champion Michael Elgin, getting to see him in action again is always a nice treat. So.
We're here to see the new champ, Mitchell Taylor, and who knows what he'll get to say. He had to keep his mouth a little quieter since we were in a church the other day, but the filter will probably be off on Sunday since we're not in the church, and he could go ahead and say what he would have said Thursday if he could have.
Yeah.
But, we appreciate everybody watching. Please hit that subscribe button on YouTube, like and follow Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, all at Gonzo'S Sports Room. We'll be back Monday with another episode of Gonzo'S Wrestling Room. See you guys on Wednesday with Alex Bolton. And I hope everybody has a good night and enjoy Monday Night Raw.
That'd be absolutely devastating.
This is Joey Owens' show. They've been trying to get me on this broadcast forever, and this is the worst damn broadcast I've ever been on. So you all can kiss my ass while I win this match.